Good afternoon, team. Hope you're having an amazing day so far. Welcome to another episode of PT Profit, Leverage, and Lifestyle Show. Just me for today's episode, team. So I've got a pretty juicy topic for you. As always, if you guys have enjoyed the podcast so far, I'm getting more and more people send me messages. So I love getting those messages. So if you do enjoy the podcast, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatnot, actually let me know. Give me some feedback, what you like, what you want to see more of. Obviously, I help a variety of face-to-face trainers plus online trainers as well. So if you guys want to see more face-to-face or more online, then the only way for me to know is for you to tell me. So make sure you do that. But topic for today is going to be why you actually need a hybrid model for your PT business. Controversial, if I can speak, controversial topic about having a hybrid model. So let's get into what exactly is a hybrid model to start with. Then we'll go through the pros and cons because everything has pros and cons. It's all balanced, and there's no better or worse. It's like what's best for you. There's so many different ways to make it work in business, let alone in the fitness industry. So you just got to pick what works for you. Like I've tried a variety of different ways, and I found what works really good for me. So let's go through it, hey. And if you haven't liked and subscribed or followed, then make sure you do that, team. That's the only way the podcast is going to grow. So why do you actually need a hybrid model, and what exactly is it? So a hybrid model is a variety, or not a variety, a combination of face-to-face plus online services. Now, the biggest reason for me, or the reason why I think you need a hybrid model, is because you cannot have leverage without a hybrid model. In my opinion, you can have leverage if you hire a team, which I have done myself, as in hiring trainers. Now, for those who've listened to the podcast for a while, you would know that I have done very well with that. However, it's extremely expensive, especially if you're hiring people in Australia. You guys might have known that I hire some people from the Philippines to help me, which is a lot cheaper. But a hybrid model will enable you to scale without needing a lot of people, essentially. What I mean by that is you're not going to need to hire trainers. You can. You're not going to need to hire trainers though if you have a hybrid model, and that will enable you to scale past, three, four, five, even up to 10K a week with minimal overheads, which means your profitability or profit percentage is really high. So I talk to my clients about this quite a bit about leverage. So because we're in a service-based business, we don't have to buy any goods to resell. All we're selling is our knowledge and our time at the moment. So you should have pretty high profit margins. Like there is going to be some expenses, of course. Like for those that are doing face-to-face PT, you've obviously got your gym rent. You'll have a variety of other expenses as well. If you're doing online, you might be doing paid ads. You might have to have a CRM system. You'll like every single business has overheads. But if you can avoid having to have a huge team, you are going to save yourself a lot of money and a lot of headaches in the long run as well. Like I only have two VAs that work for me now, and I'm making more money than what I was profit-wise, not revenue, but profit-wise, which is the most important figure. If someone says they're making $1 million in revenue, but their expenses is 950,000, then they're only making 50K. Whereas if you were making 250K in revenue, but your profit was 150K, then you're in a much better position. A lot less headaches as well. So I just want you to imagine this. So let's say you have a hybrid model. Well, let's actually compare the team building one. So let's say you got yourself fully booked face to face, and then you want to scale that business. And scaling that business means you need to hire more trainers. So you're going to need to pay them $40 to $50 an hour. Plus, you're going to need to cover their rent, so an extra $200 to $300 per week in rent. Plus, if you're charged, let's say you're charging 120, 130 an hour, they're getting 50 of that. So what's that? 30, is that right? 30%? Let's just do that for now. So 30% of your income is gone instantly because you obviously have to pay the trainer. You obviously don't have to train the trainer. You don't have to manage the trainer. You have to deal with their emotions. You don't have to do payroll. You don't have to do all that type of stuff. So more time is going to be invested on your end. Yes, you're going to be making some passive income, but you're going to still have to get the clients for them. So there's pros and cons to everything. But you're obviously going to be making more money in revenue, but your profitability percentage is probably going to be a profit margin. That's what I'm looking for, profit margin. Your profit margin is probably going to be anywhere from 15 to 30%, or could be as low as 10%. So if you're making $1 million, you might make 100K. Whereas if you have, and then if you have the other spectrum where it's just online, you might be having, just paid ads as your main, overhead expense. Everything else is just online. You just have a computer and a mobile phone and internet. You might have trainer ads, for example. But in that scenario, you might sell 200K worth of revenue for the year. And you might, like, who knows, you might have 150K of profit for that before tax. So you might have 50K that you spend on ads and subscriptions and whatnot, but then everything else is basically profit. So that's the other end. What I'm suggesting is having a bit of both. So I'm suggesting still doing some face-to-face because it's very easy to get clients face-to-face compared to doing paid ads or organic marketing online where you're competing against a lot more people. Plus, you've obviously got the challenge of doing Facebook ads. It's a lot harder, whereas face-to-face is really, really easy to get new clients. So you can easily funnel people from face-to-face for leads and then have them as an online model, the majority of your clients. Some of them, they won't want online, which is fine, which is why you still have the face-to-face aspect. So that's why I suggest having both. So if you have face-to-face, let's just say, for example, you might do 20 sessions a week over 3 days a week. So you do 3 days a week in the gym, and you might do between 6 to 8 sessions a day. And you can obviously pick that. And you might make, let's just do some rough figures here. 20 sessions, you might charge 70 for a session, so 1,400. And let's just say you do some online coaching with those clients, which you might charge an extra $10 a week for a program, as an example. The 20 sessions times 80, so 1,600, and then you might pay rent. So let's just say 250 for argument's sake. So you're left with about 1,300, and let's say after all your expenses, you're left with about $1,000 a week, which is not too bad. You can get by on that. $1,000 a week, 50K profit per year. So you're 1,600 times 2, so about 80K, and your profit's about 50. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. But then what you do is you funnel people after you've capped out your 20 sessions to online, and you're going to charge anywhere from 50 to 80 for online. You have a premium and you have a group option. Let's just say the average spend is 60. So then you add another 20 clients to your online option, which is all done from home. It's all leveraged. It might require 10 minutes a week for those clients. Not that much. That's an extra $1,200 per week just there. Now, let's say you then just scale the group aspect of online coaching, meaning there's not very much one-on-one stuff. It's mainly a group option, which is like the 50 a week. Let's say you get 50 clients at $50 a week online, 2.5K per week as a leveraged model. 2.5K Same workload every single week, no matter if there's 100 people or whether it's 50 people. Okay, if they want the one-on-one, then they pay extra. Okay, I'm just talking examples here, team. So, you know, don't come after me if this doesn't happen for you. This is just an example. Um, this is what you can do. So therefore, you get 50 online clients and you still have 20 face-to-face. And then what happens? Your total income is just over 4K per week. But then your expenses stay roughly, not exactly, but roughly around the same. So you might have, the 250 plus maybe you might spend, I don't know, 500 bucks a week on ads, and then you might spend another 200 a week on subscriptions or whatnot. So then all of a sudden, you're making 4K a week in revenue, but your profit is over 3K per week. So if you wanted to do 3K per week in profit, you would need to be doing around 3.5K worth of PT sessions, which is going to be 44 PT sessions a week. And you can absolutely do that, by the way. But I prefer the leverage and the lifestyle. That's just me. Because I've done that. I've done 60, 70 sessions a week before, and I've made, 3, 4K a week just from PT. And kills you. Not sustainable long term, in my opinion. Maybe for someone that has like a ridiculous amount of passion for it. Like I still have passion for it, but not that much. So that is why I always suggest to my clients, and like for people that work with me, majority of them, they want to get fully booked face to face, create a hybrid model, so it's face to face plus online, move a lot of their face to face clients to online, and then continue to scale online. They still like that, like they still like to have face to face as an option, which I like, but I've also got clients that have then gone from face to face to purely full time online. For example, one of my clients, and I'll keep him anonymous. Let's just call him John. I got him fully booked face to face in Sydney, and he's actually moved over to Europe full time as an online PT. Super exciting, which is pretty cool that we're able to have that opportunity in this day and age. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go through today. Sam, I wanted to give you that insight as to what I'm doing with my clients and literally what I have done over the last couple of years. I've grown my business to 6 gyms, 250 sessions per week, 12 trainers working for me, doing well over 15K per week in revenue, not profit. So there's a lot of expenses for that type of business. To then slowly reducing it down, reducing my team, closing one location at a time. So it's a bit more manageable while I create my online leverage model, which is business coaching, which is still one-on-one, by the way, but it's relatively leveraged where possible, a lot of automations and stuff. And then one by one, I close them one by one. But then my profitability actually went up as my online income went up and my face-to-face income came down. And you guys have probably seen that over the last couple of years. I made the transition. And, no regrets. I learned a lot of that type of stuff and how to manage people and that type of jazz. But yeah, that's exactly why I suggest a hybrid model or some type of online aspect. So you can have the leverage, so you're not capped for your income, and you can actually enjoy the lifestyle that business should have. I talked to someone else about this today about, the opportunity of business compared to working for someone else. And, if I was to make, even if I was to make the same amount of income as I do now, working 40, 50 hours a week for someone else, and, I choose to work a lot, but I don't have to work that much. Like I'm in the process of moving all my clients to online, as you guys would have known. But I only work 4 days 4 days a week usually. I usually have Wednesdays at home with my wife and my 2 kids, and then I usually don't work weekends. Sometimes I choose to. That's by choice. But I'm just looking at my calendar. I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 8 or 9 coaching calls a week, sometimes not even that. I got a group coaching call, and everything else is done. Well, everything else is pretty much leveraged. So I have a lot of spare time on my hands, and that's what I want for you guys as well. Where's Zoom gone? There it is. So that's why my 3 pillars are profit, leverage, and lifestyle. That's my three pillars to success for any type of business. So that's it, team. Hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I'll see you next week.